All right. So as I said, we'll just briefly cover what are securities, different indices, what's a candlestick, and what are the momentum indicators that are needed for the chart analysis. So before I start on that, um, like you guys can just give a quick summary of what's your familiarity with technical analysis, indicators, or trading in general. Like, any of you are active trader, or are you like involved with like day trading, or do like casual trading, or more involved with the heavier derivatives and other stuff? Anyone? Anyone on the advanced level, like day trading or options and other stuff?
हमरा पूरे फायदा है भाई.
And I mean, I used to do the stocks on a daily basis,
Okay.
and that was a long time back. So I made money and I lost a lot of money too.
Okay.
So it's a very risky thing, and I think the main thing is you shouldn't be investing the money that you might need it tomorrow or maybe day after tomorrow. So I think the basic rule is 1/3 of your savings is the max that you should be using in the stock market.
Yep. So
So
as I stated, and one of the bigger motivation that I had, I mean, like when I used to trade, my personal experience is I used to speculate. If I
yeah,
saw it in the news or saw it in the news article, or somebody said, "Oh, hey, go ahead and buy." When I was in March or April when the COVID happened, Innovia. So Bill Gates kind of invested in Innovia Pharmaceuticals.
yeah,
When I heard that news, I went in. I made, of course, money out of it. But these are speculations, running uh, after stocks, doing speculations or buying penny stocks. Some people define penny stocks as a stock which is valued around $1 or less than
yeah.
$15. But the whole aim um, of going through these training and the mentorship program and all that is to kind of have a good grasp on our technical trading. Yes, Hanifbhai, you have a question.
So myself, I just started the stocks trading in just 2 months ago, because I had some money in my 401k account, and so I just recently learned that it's not a good idea to put it in the fund whatever that they have, because there is some haram components in it. So I opened a brokerage account, and I'm doing some stock trading. So I subscribe to there is an analyst called Motley Fool, because I heard from my friends that doing by yourself is very risky. As you said, you can just only speculate based on the news whatever you read. So it's better to follow some analyst and then invest in based on their recommendation in the long term. But slowly I'm also doing some stock trading based on speculation.
Sure,
That's
sure, sure. So the biggest benefit from my training with my mentors was I stopped speculating. Second thing, I don't go after penny stocks. Third thing, I don't look at the buy and sell signal indicators from the financial experts. Um, I'll probably, if we get a chance today or maybe in the future sessions, I'll explain why. Uh, but hopefully, off of these few sessions, and we are here to share from each other's knowledge and skill set. to kind of benefit ourselves and the larger community. So we'll get there sooner or later. So I'll just quickly start with some basic stuff for the folks who are just like, trying to understand what exactly we're dealing with and what is security. So basically security is just like hold some type of monetary value. And it's a ownership in a public traded company. There are some companies that trade on a private side too. That's why you have initial public offering IPOs. Like Snowflake is a recent IPO, right? It's a cloud-based company. So if it's a private traded company, general people like us, we won't be able to invest. Bigger companies, yes, they can. So ownership in a public traded company. So there are different securities like equity security, that's like a stock and stuff. Debt security is like bond, where people get money off of the bonds of corporations or government bonds, municipal bonds and stuff. The hybrid security is kind of like a mix of stocks and bonds. Derivatives is more like advanced stuff. It's a financial security. It also relies upon underlying asset, like a stock, bond, and currencies, etc. And few of the common derivatives that most of us or some of us might have heard is the options and futures. I usually don't do options and futures, but I I had the training and the chart analysis and options too. So that's the basic snapshot of what is a security. Anyone has any questions related to that?
Yeah, no, normally we not supposed to do derivatives, right, sir?
Derivatives, yes.
Derivatives and bond.
Yeah, I mean, like the bonds usually deal. If you can mute your mic so that we won't have the echo. Right. So equity security, that's stocks, ETFs, or like a group of stocks is a ETF and a mutual fund. The difference between a mutual fund is you can trade once a day at the close of the market, and it gets kind of managed pretty closely as compared to ETF. ETF is an exchange traded fund that gets you can buy and sell like a stock throughout the day. You don't have to wait till the end of the day. Bond, of course, it involves interest and stuff. And derivatives is more detailed and complicated. I'll touch base it in the coming sessions and stuff. My aim is to show everyone what the basics are, what's a chart analysis, what are the indicators for buy and sell signals, and then we'll go from there. If time permits, we'll talk a bit about derivatives at the end. So any questions so far on that? If not, then okay. So the next thing is the indices, right? Most people have this question: what the S&P 500 is? The Standard and Poor 500, just like a market cap weighted index of 500 U.S. largest companies, generally $10 billion and above. Whatever their market capitalization is, that's how they get incorporated in that market cap under S&P 500. Usually on the display, S&P 500 only shows the top 10. It does not usually show the rest of the 490. NASDAQ is more like technology, 300,000 plus stocks. They had a merger with one of the European index, so they have like more stocks, usually more geared towards technology and biotechnology stuff. Dow Jones Industrial Average, that's more on the 30 large blue chip companies, and Russell 1000 large cap and Russell 2000 is small cap. This is just like a common stuff most of you already know, but I just wanted to touch base because some of the folks are just starting. Any questions on that?
Input the NYSE.
That's NYSE index is different. New York Stock Exchange, the platform where it gets traded, that's the stock exchange. That's the platform. NASDAQ does not trade on New York Stock Exchange. It gets traded electronically.
Right. It's very volatile.
It's volatile, but most of the companies that are in S&P 500 are part of NASDAQ too. Like if you were to take Apple, Apple is part of S&P 500. It's also part of NASDAQ. So the main thing that I actually wanted to touch is on the basic thing. What's a candle? Does any one of you have an idea what a candle is? I'll just show practically what a candle is, but just want to touch base on the basics of a candle. So if you look at a candle, it has a main body. The bottom is where the opening or the closing price is. The opening or the closing price based on the prior day. If you're looking at a day chart, then whatever the previous day price is, that's the opening and closing price based on that. And I'll talk a bit more on that in a minute. And at the top is opening or closing price. Again, it depends on what the price was the previous day. And the wick, the shadow, this is the lowest price of the day. And this is the highest price of the day. And this again is the body. It would be red if the stock closed lower than the previous day. The body is white or green if the stock closed higher at the previous day. Just to give you an example what that is, I'm just looking. So this is tradingview.com. I'll talk a bit more in detail about this. It's really useful website. Um, you just need to create a free account. Free account allows up to 3 indicators. So you can use 3 indicators for free. If you want to put more indicators, then you need to get a membership. So tradingview.com, it's really a useful tool if you're doing chart analysis. This is the tool that I've been practicing for a while. It doesn't hurt to spend 15, 20 minutes, half an hour every day doing chart analysis on this, So just to give you an idea, let me just turn off these indicators. That way it's not crowded. Channel. Channel as well. All right. So what we're looking at is ES1 prime. That's S&P 500 mini features. So S&P 500 or any New York Stock Exchange, the time is 9:30 to 4. That's the trading hours. That's the regular trading hours. If it's in features, this runs 20 hours. So that's why you see at this hour, that you can see the market is still running because people are still doing those transactions and stuff. If I just go back to SPY, X, the actual S&P 500. So it just shows the actual market at the closing. That's 4 p.m. US Eastern Standard Time. So just to give you an example, what we were talking. So if you just look at this, if I hover my mouse, just bring it on this. So you see it on the top left corner here, right? You see OHLC. So if I hover my mouse on this candle on 23rd September, that's today, the opening was 3320.1. The highest that it went, that here, is 3323.4. And the lowest it went on the wick here is 3232.6. And the closing happened at 3236.9. So the opening, highest, low, and closing. So if I take it on this one, or if I want to take it on a green one, it turns green. It shows opening 3543. That's higher than the previous day's closing. See that? The previous day closing was 3526. The next day on September 2nd was 3580. That was the 3543 was the opening. Highest it went was 3588. Lowest 3535. The closing was 3580 here. But if you come to this one, the opening is 3564. Actually lower than what we closed the previous day. So this green is where people bought more than what they sold. On this day, people sold more than what they bought. And at times you see this is called a doji. Hopefully we'll cover that in the future. So if you look at this opening, 3485.1 and the closing is 3484. So it's basically buying and selling is pretty much, it's a neutral. The buying and the selling was like kind of like, almost equal. So these are called like dojis, but we'll get to it later, what that significance is. But our aim is to understand what this candlestick is and what these OHLC values are to begin with. Any questions on that?
This is the cumulative trading for the whole day, right? Which includes everything,
Yes.
all the companies.
Yes. I mean, like I'm looking at just S&P 500. If I want to go take a look at a different index, or if they say let's look at APL, right? Apple. These kind of okay. Best example. So look at 18 September, right? The opening was 110. The highest it went. Where is that? Yeah. Let's say line. Sorry. So we can take 21st September. So opening was 104. Highest was 110. Low was again 103, and the closing was 110 again. So it's just pretty much the cumulative of it. Sometimes what happens, it's green, even though the opening is, lower than what the previous day's closing is. Sometimes it depends on that there's multiple factors, the previous day's pricing, as well as how much buying and selling actually happened. So those colors tend to indicate that. Anybody have a question?
Mohibhai,
Yes.
I read that in the red indicates that it is bullish, and the sorry, red indicates it's bearish, and green indicates it's bullish, right? In irrespective of the previous day, if on that day, if it opened at a lower price, but ends with a higher price, so they say it's with the green color to indicate, hey, this is a bullish day. Is that right?
It is at the same time, it also indicates, see, bullish and bearish signal is also on buying and selling, right? If people are buying, that's like a bull signal.
Yeah, yeah,
People are selling, that's a bearish signal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So just to give you an example, I think, so apart from that, any other questions on the candle itself? If not, I just want to show one quick thing since we are at the Apple. So that's the candle. The moment indicators, what I was talking about is the moving averages. They're like, these three are critical. That's what I